All right, should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, welcome everybody. So today we're going to be talking about Wodify's new Kiosk Plus, and we're going to be talking about everything you need to know to upgrade your in-gym experience. Thanks, Brendan. All right, so I already introduced myself, but just one more time, my name is Reagan. I'm product marketing manager here at Wodify. Brendan is also going to be speaking to us in the webinar today. And then you can also see we've got Sydney and Carla here joining us. They are going to be supporting in chat and Q&A at the end. I did mention this also earlier, but there's two places you can engage with us during the webinar. The Q&A tab is going to be where you want to leave those questions for the end so we can answer them all after the presentation. And then in the chat section, there's a drop-down menu where you can choose who you're sending your message to, either only the hosted panelists or everyone. So if you want it to be a public comment or chat message, make sure that drop-down menu is set to everybody. All right, and then Brendan. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of a recap of how we got here, how Kiosk and Coach Board that you all have used for many, many years came to be, and then how we ended up deciding to build Kiosk Plus and the process that went into that. Brendan's going to speak on that part, and then I'm going to take over the live demo section to give you a real-time look at Kiosk Plus in action. And then we're going to talk about next steps, how you guys can get started with Kiosk Plus in your gym, and then we're going to round things out with Q&A. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Brendan so he can kick us off.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Reagan. And again, great to see everyone live on the webinar. For those of you who are watching it afterwards on the recording, thanks for watching. So first of all, just one of the reasons I'm excited to talk today and in general love doing webinars versus just sending us emails or putting up notifications in the app is it gives us the opportunity to speak to all of you and give more background on our updates and provide the why behind the changes to our products and our services, and just a little bit more of kind of the full picture of why we're doing the things we are and building the features we're building. So that's really what I want to go all the way back to the beginning of Wodify to help explain how we got to where we are today. So if we rewind to 2012, and some of you have been with us, I was looking in the chat for many, many years. So you may remember some of our early days. There's a small CrossFit gym in New Jersey where Wodify was born. And back then, pretty much every CrossFit and functional fitness style gym looked something like this. A bunch of people getting a great workout in. And if you look over on the right-hand side, more often than not, there was a whiteboard or a chalkboard with the workout written on it. Maybe some people were writing scores on it. And then at the end of every day, it got erased, and you would write a new workout the next morning. The thing that most gym owners and most coaches understood, though, was the importance of performance tracking, the importance of friendly competition. That was a big piece of it, and using data to show clients that they were actually getting results. But the problem was in those days, there wasn't technology to enable that. There was a whiteboard that, like I said, got erased every day. There were notebooks like this one. This is actually a picture, I think, of Carla's notebook from back in 2012. Where you had to write down the whole workout. You had to take these disorganized notes. There was no easy way to reference it. So the result was almost no one actually tracking their performance in these types of gyms. And while there were some obvious challenges there for the clients, it was much more than just an athlete problem. The real insight and why Wodify really turned into a business was this was a business problem for gym owners, and specifically a retention problem. We saw firsthand how many clients would start and then drop off in their first few weeks or months because they weren't able to just, maybe they didn't see an immediate physical change when they looked in the mirror, stepped on the scale, and they didn't feel like they had the right tools to stay engaged on their fitness journey. And then on top of that, gym owners were spending a ton of time just manually writing workouts on the whiteboard. Sometimes they would type it into their WordPress website. It would get erased. There just wasn't an efficient system to keep clients engaged, keep performance tracking at high adoption levels for everyone at the gym. So that's the kind of story of how Wodify was born and how it ties into the kiosk. I had to go back in the archives to dig up this OG picture of Froning using our original kiosk. But that's really where Wodify was born. we were the first complete digital performance tracking platform that enabled gym owners and athletes to create the workouts, create programming, track those in an easy way, see past performance trends easily, celebrate PRs, engage with other athletes across class time. So you're no longer just siloed to knowing how, if you went to the 5 a.m. class, you probably would have no idea who even was in the 6 p.m. class or how they did. So we created the tools to do all of that, all designed to increase efficiency, adoption, and retention. So the in-gym kiosk was a pillar of Wodify. The digital display on TVs made it possible to show that workout, manage sign-ins, showcase leaderboards, and whether or not a gym uses Wodify, today it's pretty rare to walk into a functional fitness or CrossFit gym anywhere in the world and not see some sort of digital display. But as many of you have probably experienced, especially our OG customers, the Wodify kiosk that you see in the screen has not significantly changed or improved in many, many years. And part of that was due to our need as a business to build out all the other features to become a complete all-in-one platform, like payment processing, marketing automation, websites, all the other functionality to run your business. But I'm super excited that more recently we have been able to revisit the kiosk and completely rebuild it with a modern infrastructure and new features to lead the next evolution of in-gym technology. So anytime we do that, we go through that process where we're kind of reinventing one of our legacy pieces of software. It does not come without challenge and navigating that change. But the end result is an improved system for you and your clients for many years to come. So just to share an example of that transformation and how I think it's worked out well in the long term is our legacy mobile app. Again, for those of you who have been with us for many years, you probably remember the screenshot on the left. We used to have a mobile app that kind of looked like the old kiosk, hadn't gotten much love in a long time. It did the job, but it was slow, it had outdated design, and it lacked new and innovative features. So over a few years, we rebuilt the app from the ground up into the Wodify mobile app that everyone uses today. And while there's still room for improvement, the user experience, the speed has been greatly improved. There's tons of new features because we built it with a more modern architecture, like coach view, week streaks. We suggest classes to reserve again, and much more. So that's why it's so important for us to make these long-term investments in more modern technology. And we're taking the same approach with Kiosk Plus, starting with a better version of the legacy kiosk, but then continuing to build on it with improved features and functionality as we get feedback from you. So let's talk about just the overall vision for Kiosk Plus and what we're committed to building. First, it's going to be faster. It will have live updating data. So Reagan will do a demo of this, but if someone signs in on the mobile app or on simple sign in at a tablet, they'll immediately show up on the screen. No more refreshing, no more spinning wheel of death that you've gotten used to. This will be immediate real-time data and because it's faster and has a more modern design, a lot easier to use for your coaches or for yourself. We also have created the ability to customize it for your business needs and your TV layout. So with the old kiosk, there are a few different tabs, but you get what you get. And with the new kiosk, you can create multiple panels and you can resize them and you can really just set it up exactly to fit your physical layout in the gym. And then lastly, again, because of the way we're building it, this will be the best platform for future innovation. We already have a bunch of features in mind that we're going to build. An example here is the ability to embed dynamic panels into your kiosk, such as Spotify, so you can control stuff outside of even just Wodify, all from your physical display. So we're really excited about kind of the full future vision of this. But again, we had to go back, kind of start at the drawing board in order to achieve it, which is why it's been a bit of a journey. And speaking to that journey, let me address what some of you might remember, which is the first attempt at rolling out the Kiosk Plus a little over a year ago. So in 2023, we launched the beta version of Kiosk Plus and announced to be replacing the original kiosk. And that was a failure. We quickly realized it didn't meet your needs. It didn't deliver on our promise of an improved user experience. And we heard your frustrations loud and clear. It's unfortunate, and we apologized at the time, and I'll apologize again that we had to hear it so much from you, and we're so off the mark on the first time around. But we apologize when we rolled back those changes, but we didn't give up on the Kiosk Plus. We actually just reinvested and worked harder on getting it right. So that's what our team has spent the last 18 months or so, spending more time involving our customers, more thoroughly testing new features, and improving those core functions like performance tracking, sign-ins, and class management. So what has that gotten us? The first thing, which was missing in the original version, was just a more direct replacement for Coachboard. So we have these new concepts of panels, but you'll be able to set up the Kiosk Plus to look and act exactly like the kind of legacy version of what we call the Coachboard today. We also just spent a lot more time conducting surveys and in-person interviews to understand how we can improve on the legacy kiosk, but add new features. Like the example I gave there was customizing layouts with different templates. And then lastly, we've just done field research, actually watching class flows and coaches interact with the kiosk to ensure that we're not missing anything. Just this week, I personally, and Hung, who's on the call, spent 3 days in California. Shout out to CrossFit Horsepower, Echo Park, and West LA Athletics for being some of our testers there. They gave awesome feedback. They were some of the heaviest users of kiosk, of the old kiosk. So we went in, ran classes with them all day using the new kiosk, and got really, really awesome feedback from them, and improvements. So these are just some photos from that. But I hope that we're able to kind of make some tweaks from that experience, but also just it gave us confidence to share it with all of you. So just going into some more of that initial customer feedback, we've shared all these designs with customers and the things that I'm excited about. Just a few specific things to call out. Like really being able to capture the good parts of the legacy coach board, plus adding new functionality. This comment was much better than the original kiosk. So the functionality of the current coach board is vital to the success of our business. Being able to easily look at past weights by hovering over them, history, and easily being able to enter stores without clicking through multiple screens. So those are all the things that we tried to carry in to the new version. And then there are other little things, and I'm about to hand it back to Reagan so you guys can see this, but little things that we improved that I think you'll all appreciate because you're using this in every single class, which is we have a panel with a class time scroll bar at the top, and you're able to really quickly toggle between classes. And you can set program filters and save those as templates. So every morning you can immediately load up the sign-in panel or the results panel or anything else you want already filtered to the right programs on the right day. So all of those things, I hope that you guys, like I was saying at the beginning, any change comes with a little bit of a learning curve. It's obviously not going to be on day one as if you have coaches who've been using this for 10 years, it can be a little bit challenging to learn a new system. But we want to walk you through all of the ways that I think will add more value and ask you to kind of have patience and please invest in learning those new features because I think it'll pay dividends in the long term. So I will hand it back to Reagan now, and she's going to get into the exciting part, which is actually walking through some of the new features.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Brendan. Always fun to get a little bit of history. Okay, so I'm going to start you guys at like absolute square one because I know for many of you, you've had Coachboard and Kiosk bookmarked on your computer for years, and so you may not even know where to find the new Kiosk Plus. So let's start there. You're going to go ahead and log into Wodify Core, just as you normally would. And then in this bottom left-hand corner, you're going to find the extensions menu. Here, you're going to see Kiosk, the legacy kiosk, and now Kiosk Plus. Go ahead and click on that to open Kiosk Plus. Right away, I'm going to be prompted to open a template. Real quick, before I do that, I do just want to show you guys there's some really nice custom branding on the new Kiosk Plus. So make sure if you guys have custom branding, you've got those logos all set up. You can even add your custom colors. All right, so let's go ahead and open up a template. We've bootstrapped the sign-in and results template for you all. And when I click on it, it's going to look very familiar, as it should, because it is meant to look similar to the legacy coach board. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure my class is all good to go. So here we've got my 5:30 class. You're going to see my results panel here on the right, and then my sign-in panel here on the left. You're going to notice immediately that the image tiles are much larger than they were on the legacy kiosk. This is going to be really, really nice for seeing people's pictures from far away in the room. And then you're also going to be able to view all of the components of that workout listed here. Now, sign in here on the left, I've got a couple things I want to just point out right away. So I have, let's say somebody walks in unexpectedly, my drop-in button is right here on the left. Just as you normally would on legacy kiosk, that person can fill out their information, sign the waiver, and pay for that drop-in. And now I'm going to go ahead and sign some people in for class. So let's go ahead and sign in Carol. We're going to sign in Alex. And then what I'm going to do is I'm reserved. So I've got my phone here. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And then right away, no clicking, no hands on the computer. I immediately popped in real time to that results panel and the sign-in panel. Now we are snatching in class today. You're going to be able to easily preview those previous performance results. You can see my very low snatch numbers here. So I can say, oh, I'm working off of 70% for today. So I'm going to do 77 pounds for this complex. Now, once it's time to go ahead and enter in my scores for the day, I have two options. We can, of course, add results directly here on the results panel, or I, as an athlete or coach, can add my results directly within the Wodify app. I'm going to go ahead and add a snatch and hit save. Okay, on my phone, hit saved. That result immediately popped up here on the result panel. Now, if I want to go ahead and add those results here, I can do that as well. And what I really like about this is it's going to automatically drop me down to the next component I need to score. So at the end of class, if you're the coach and you're trying to get people more consistent with result tracking, you can pop up there and be like, Diana, what's your snatch? What's your Metcon score for today? And you can just easily add those numbers in for your full class. We also have the scaled RX and RX Plus options. If you offer those, still available here. And then another fun thing I want to point out is you can still add custom results for the day. So if somebody is injured, they did snatch deadlifts instead of a snatch, you can go ahead and add that custom result and score for them. And then you can also search for other component history. So let's say it's a day where I'm doing like a snatch complex and I want to base that off of my 1 rep max snatch. I could easily search for that 1 rep max, even if it's not a part of that programmed workout for the day. I have not signed my waiver yet, so I can see that as a coach. Reagan needs to sign her waiver, so does Carol. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you, all right, 5:30 p.m. class is coming to an end. I need to switch to 6:30. So you're going to see here up at the top, I can go ahead and hit that 6:30 p.m. class. And then I'm just going to change my sign-in panel to 6:30 p.m. as well. Now I can go ahead and start signing in athletes for that class. Now I'm a little nosy and sometimes I want to know what my friend did at the noon class for the workout. So I can always really easily toggle between earlier classes for the day to see, oh, Bob did a 165 snatch. That's awesome.
Reagan,
Okay.
can I interrupt really quick with one nice thing about the new feature is so this is an example of a template, like Reagan was saying, and if you bookmark this template or you load it up at any time, we'll detect the time of day. So if you load it up at 6:30, you don't have to choose that class time. We'll automatically select on that class time for you. So it's just a nice little feature to make it smoother.
Yeah, for sure. One other thing you're going to notice with the Bootstrap template is that it is going to default your programs to all programs selected. I recommend saving multiple versions of this template if you have a lot of if you have several common programs you offer. So in this example, I would only select CrossFit and hit apply. And then I would do that same thing, which I've already done here on the sign-in section as well. And then what I can do is I can save this as a new template. So I can have like a CrossFit coach board, a Grandmasters RX coach board, a kids program coach board. Just makes it really easy for those coaches to just pop open that template at the start of class. Okay, let's get to the good stuff, the workout. So I may have a 2 TV screen set up, and I'm going to want to show maybe my sign in and results on one section or on one TV, and then the workout on another. So let's go ahead and add new. This is going to open up a new Kiosk Plus tab. And then I've bootstrapped a 2 workout panel template for my gym. And you're going to notice here that this panel, because it's 2 workout panels, you can customize them. They can work kind of on their own. So let's say for this day, I'm going to brief the workout. I want everyone to know we've got a snatch portion for our lifting piece for the day, and then we also have a Metcon. I can easily have both of these pieces up while I brief, and I can also adjust the zoom setting on them with just hover over the section you want to zoom in on, and then use your right and left keyboard mouses to zoom in and out. So I can make that snatch a little bit bigger. Okay. The other thing we can do here is, let's say the lifting portion for the day has ended. I can very easily just collapse that section and then make that workout nice and big. Now, if you have multiple versions of a workout, let's say you offer a RX and a scaled version, that's another one of my favorite use cases for this. So here I've got the RX version on the left. Collapsed it. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull up the level 2 version here on the right. It's going to make it really easy for my athletes who are doing the scaled version to still be able to see their version of the workout, their weights, what they should be using, any difference in the rep scheme. I can leave that up during the whole class, but it's still big and easy to see, whereas previously you were probably doing some sort of split screen setup with 2 different pages to show this. All right, and again, filter these workout panels by program so that it's really easy to go ahead and just pop open these favorite panels you have. You can save them as templates. And then let's just go ahead and do one from scratch example. So I'm going to go ahead and open up new again, create a new kiosk. I can choose between, yep.
Sorry, I know we'll answer all the questions at the end, but one that's super relevant one just came in from Tom.
Okay. Yeah.
Saying we have 3 levels for each workout. So you can add more than 2 panels. So you can add yeah, do it right now. Add another workout panel to that same screen, and you can have 3 if you want. You know, if you have a big TV, that could look great. So that's just an example of the level of customizability you can add to, and it doesn't even have to just be workout. If you wanted 2 workout panels and 1 sign-in panel, you can kind of play with it and find what works best for you.
Yeah, for sure. Like here's an example. We've got masters, level 1, and then the RX version here on the left.
And then if you ever are like, whoops, I actually only want 2 panels, you can just click that little X in the top right of any panel, and that'll be what removes the panel. Yeah,
and I know with hotkeys too, like I showed the Zoom keyboard shortcut, but if you hover over this little magnifying glass right here, it will remind you of that shortcut. So if you can't remember, that is there. You can also click on that and zoom with this here as well. And then again, you can collapse those panels as class progresses. Maybe the strength portion is over. So good call out. And thank you, Brendan. I cannot see the Q&A, so if anything pops up you think I should address, let me know.
The other thing is, and we have dark mode. If you first open it, you might be in light mode and you might miss the old coach board. So don't worry, you can change it to dark mode as well, as Reagan has in our demo.
Yeah, I prefer dark mode, but whatever looks best in your gym. Dark mode's real nostalgic of the original coach board, but yeah, that light mode is there for you as well. Okay, let's go ahead and start from scratch. So it's going to start me with my display settings. So you can choose between that light and dark mode. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start adding panels. So like Brendan mentioned, you can have multiple panels of whatever configuration you want. So let's say I want to do workout, just select my program. I want to add a sign in. I'm going to select my program. And I want a results. I can also then drag this, like personally, I just love sign in on the left because that's what I'm used to. So I can reorder these around. I have workout here, I can have results here. So yeah, lots of options for you guys as far as customization. Brendan, anything I'm missing? Anything else I could show?
So just running down that right-hand side, I think you covered most of it, how to add panel, create new screens. Copy is another
Oh,
one. If you
copy's
want to,
nice.
yeah, if you want to just start with the same layout, but tweak it, you can use copy. And then one more thing to be aware of as you're starting to set up templates. If you want to create a CrossFit workout template, super simple, like one, maybe one or two panels, it's on workout, and you want the CrossFit workout. If you set that template up with, like if you're setting it up today and you have Thursday, January 16th selected, if you save that template, any day you open it in the future will go to that day. If you, for whatever reason, chose a different date, the template will actually go to like that static date. So when you're setting up templates, I would encourage you to use today's date, and that'll help you just have the same consistency. Yeah, so no, I think you did a great job, Reagan. I mean, again, I was in really heavy kiosk gyms, really heavy usage kiosk gyms all week, and pretty much everyone that we tested it with, one of the first things we did was set up some templates, set up some bookmarks, do a quick training for coaches, and play around with it on the TVs, but then run from there, and went really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed as well. And yeah, templates, bookmarks. Once you get that set up, everyone can kind of start playing around with it. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so let's talk about how you can get started implementing the new Kiosk Plus in your gym. So my first just piece of
Wait,
advice is
sorry,
going to
Reagan.
be, yeah,
Someone just asked a clarification on what I said. Mark asked, so the template will only ever open to the date the template was created. So no, if you want the template every day to open on that day's date, create the template today for today's date. If you want it to open on a specific date for whatever reason, you can choose a specific date in the future, in the past, and then it'll anchor on that static date.
let me just pull it back up since I know a lot of us are visual. So what Brendan's talking about is up here in the left-hand corner of the workout drop-down menu. There's this date picker right here. You just want it set to today when you set up the template. So instead of selecting like Wednesday the 1st, I want it set to today. And then when that template's opened, it will always open on the current day.
Yeah, and then as you transition just into the next section, Reagan, of the deck, that's fine. Like one other thing that I observed doing some testing this week in those gyms is that they did really well. And maybe if you don't do this, you could use the new Kiosk Plus as an opportunity. Every single one of them, part of the class process was having coaches make sure everyone had results entered. And they did it from the Kiosk Plus results panel. A few clients did it with the app. Now the data shows up immediately. So it's really easy for the coach to manage that and make sure everyone has it in. But we just know from thousands and thousands of gyms data, there's a direct correlation between client retention and adoption of performance tracking. And I was at these gyms, 15-person, 20-person classes, and it really didn't take that long. The coach went around, asked people for their results. Maybe it took 3 or 4 minutes at the end of class as people are laying on the floor trying to recover, and just really, really good engagement communities at all those gyms. And there's definitely there's great coaching, but there's something to that in terms of West LA Athletics I was at. They talked about how their Halloween party, someone wore a shirt with all comments from the leaderboard on it because of how engaged their leaderboard is. And you can only get that when you have people entering performance results. It doesn't have to be competitive. It doesn't have to be only the top athletes. Just encouraging people to put in, the number, the time, or whatever it is for some accountability and engagement goes a really long way. So please, would encourage you to give it a try.
There is one more thing I wanted to show that I didn't, which is full screen. Looks so nice. It just looks really clean. So definitely once you have everything configured, pop open that full screen option, just so that you can get those menu bars out of the way.
Yeah, and then you can collapse. You get that arrow on the right, I think, so you can show how to collapse the menu. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. And then Wendy, just real quick while we're on this, I'm actually going to clip that demo I just did as its own recording. And so tomorrow morning, when you get the recording of this webinar, you're going to have two recordings. You're going to have the full webinar recording and also just the demo recording. I wanted to do this so that it's really easy for you guys to reshare that shortened clip with your team, just to get them caught up and a little more comfortable with the new Kiosk Plus. So if you miss any of that, no worries. All right. I'm just scanning the chat real quick to see if there's anything. Okay. All right, so back to how to get started. And my advice for you here is rip off the Band-Aid and just start using it. It's good. It looks good. Carla's been using it in her gym for a while now to run classes. They're using it back home at my gym consistently now. It looks good, and we've worked really, really hard on this. So start using it now, get your team on board, and let us know when you have feedback. Like, use it. Contact our team if you have questions, and definitely keep an eye out for future improvements and new features. Also, save those templates, save those bookmarked templates so that it makes it really easy for your team to jump in. All right. And like I was saying, more is coming. So here's a few little Perform and Kiosk Plus updates coming out this year. The first year is manage PRs. If you're anything like me and you're not the CrossFitter you once were, this may be a feature that excites you because you're going to be able to reset your PR date. So let's say I don't want to look at those 5 years ago results when I was a much fitter person. I want to look at right now. I can set my new workout calculation PR date. This is also really great for athletes coming back from an injury, postpartum. So lots of really good use cases for this new one. We're also going to be adding a revamped appointment panel to Kiosk Plus. So lots to look forward to there. We've got individual programming support coming out later this year. And then, as Brendan teased earlier, that dynamic custom panel where you can embed a URL such as Spotify to easily control something else like Spotify, music players, or something like a timer directly on your Kiosk Plus. And we're here for you. This is a big change for many of you. It's something you use every single day in your business. You can get in touch with us over email, one-on-one Zoom calls, live chat. We even have business success engineers now. And then we also have our Facebook community hub. So I'll drop that link in the chat here, or Brendan, actually, if you could, that would be great. All right. I think that's everything for today. But we're, again, like I said, we're here in many different places, email, chat, and calls if you need us. So definitely reach out with any questions that are still lingering. And yeah, we're really excited to roll this out to all of you. Start playing around with it now, and then start getting your coaches on board as well. It looks great, and it's going to just immediately level up how your gym looks. So we're really excited. Thanks y'all for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.